Hello everyone, welcome to Talk Here with Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television. Reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. My name is Dr. Laz Eze. June 14 every year is World Blood Donors Day, and is a day set aside to make sure that issues around blood products are brought to the fore, and also people all over the world are encouraged to donate blood. So it's not different because in Nigeria, there's going to be a commemoration of this day. I'm sure the National Blood Transfusion Services, different non-governmental organizations, different health institutions might be doing activities somewhere close to you, in commemoration of this day. So I have a couple of guests joining me via Zoom that we have going to be having conversation around how we can save lives through blood. One of them is a nurse working at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, and the other is a regular blood donor, a Nigerian, currently in the city of Toronto in Canada, where he's having postgraduate studies. He's a regular blood donor, so he's joining us to share his experience as a regular blood donor, and we get a whole lot to learn in the course of this program. So we'll be taking a break. I know you can't wait to meet my guest. When we return, we're going to start the conversation in earnest. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talk Here with Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television. With me on this program today are Mrs. Omubo-Pepple. She is a nurse at the emergency section of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. She is joining us via Zoom from Port Harcourt. You're welcome to the program, Dabota.
Thank you, Dr. Laz. But you added Mrs. I'm a Miss actually.
You are what?
A Miss.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Oh, Miss Omubo-Pepple. Yeah, thanks for that correction, Miss Omubo-Pepple. Yes, also join us from Toronto in Canada, Jake Chukwu. You're welcome to the program. Jake Okechukwu Efodu, sorry. Jake
Thank you very much.
Okechukwu Efodu, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Laz. And nice to meet you, Dabota. It's such a pleasure to be on this really amazing show today. I'm happy to connect even from 90,000 kilometers away. It's a very important conversation.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks to the internet.
Thanks to technology, right. Yeah, starting with you, Dabota, talking about the blood now. The blood is made up of the red blood cells that carries oxygen, which the other cells of the body uses to break down glucose into energy, water, carbon dioxide, and all that. It also has the white blood cells that builds our immunity and fights off infections. It has the platelets that is responsible for blood clotting, and of course it has the plasma, which is the watery component of the blood. So how is the blood relevant? It makes us it's made up of the 6 liters, the volume of blood in the body, and it's really a crucial commodity, if I must use that word in quotes, that if it's not available when it's needed, it can actually lead to loss of life. So what are the uses of blood in a hospital setting, especially in emergency situations, based on your experience?
Okay, so you already explained the different components of blood. So blood is a very important fluid in life, and then blood carries oxygen, which is one of the reasons why we breathe, and then blood also carries nutrients. That simply means that if there's no blood in circulation, oxygen and nutrients won't be able to go around the body, and then function cannot occur. So one of the uses of blood in medical practice, especially in the emergency, blood is mostly replaced when there's hemorrhage. A hemorrhage is like bleeding. When there's loss of blood, you have to replace blood. And then apart from when someone actually actively uses blood, there are some conditions that affect the blood cells, which affect their quality and their quantity. Example of those blood conditions are sickle cell disease, thalassemia, leukemia. These conditions affect the quality and the quantity of the blood cells. That also simply means that you have to transfuse. And then there's some other medical conditions that they don't necessarily need to be hemorrhage for blood to be reduced because of the way the conditions are. That has to do with cancer. So people who also have cancer, you realize that before chemotherapy or after chemotherapy, they tend to give them blood because blood is one of the regimens used for their management. So basically, it's either you're giving blood because someone actively is losing blood, or you're giving blood because someone has the medical condition that affects the quantity and the quality of the blood.
Right. You mentioned sickle cell. Yes, you are the executive director of Sickle Cell Awareness and Health Foundation, and I know you're very passionate about things that have to do with that. So for those with sickle cell, is this something that is very common in the emergency session, having people living with sickle cell needing blood? And how available are freely donated blood in the health facility where you work?
Okay, so yes, for sickle cell disease, it's one of the regimens or management people living with sickle cell disease transfusion, frequent transfusion, because either you're doing just a top-up transfusion or you're doing an exchange blood transfusion for them, because the quantity and the quality of their blood is depleted. And most people living with sickle cell disease who walks into the emergency department actually come in with a painful crisis. And during this painful crisis, when their blood level is checked, you realize that they're actually anemic. So yes, blood is one of the regimens for them in emergency situations. How often or how available blood is? Yeah, one of the reasons why we started doing blood drives and advocating for voluntary donation was because at some point when we started the organization, we realized that almost every week we had someone living with sickle cell disease in the emergency room who needs blood, and then the call comes in and say, oh, XYZ needs blood, and then there was actually no blood available. That made us start creating awareness about the importance of voluntary donation and actually organize drives towards it. So I would like to classify blood donors into 3 categories. We have the voluntary unpaid donors. These are donors who just voluntarily donate blood. They don't expect any kind of cash from you. And then in an average, there are about 30% of them in our community. And then we have the commercial donors. The commercial donors are donors who do blood donation as a business. They get paid to donate blood. And most times when you hear that I got to buy blood from my relative or my friend, it's most likely blood from commercial donation, because when the blood is depleted, you have to pay a fee to the donor for donating. And then the last category of donor we have is family and friends replacement. I had to subtract this from voluntary donation because just like Mr. Jake is a voluntary donor, simply means he just walks into a blood transfusion center and donates blood freely. The person who is donating the blood for doesn't need to be family or friends. But the category for family and friends replacement, it simply means that my friend needs blood and then I show up to donate, or my family member needs blood and then I show up to donate. And it's about 10% of people who donate blood.
Right. Thanks for those categorizations. So voluntary donors are just about 30%, family and friends 10%, and 60% commercial. That's a huge number. And thankfully, we have a voluntary donor who has donated about 14 times, as of the last time, Mr. Okechukwu Efodu. Coming to you, Mr. Jake, what is your motivation? I know you are a lawyer, so you don't even have health background. So what's your primary motivation to take to donating blood voluntarily?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Laz, for that. I think I only found out about donation when I was in university. I think my 200 level was at 2006. And, I think one of the things that inspired me to do that was a friend of mine whose sibling had sickle cell complications and they needed a blood donation. And I learned from that experience the value of how certain people's lives are tied to other people being able to donate blood for them. There have been instances where I've had friends of mine who are like, going through medical complications and they needed like a blood donor. And so I was like, I mean, if we have this, we have billions of people roaming around the planet with blood that they can actually use to help save other people's lives. Why not, if not? I
Yeah.
also learned about the value, even as a donor itself, like the good use that it brings to you to help you improve your wellness if you're able to donate
Right.
substantially. So that has been my motivation. And when I find time to be able to donate, I do that once or twice in a year, as I see fit. So yeah, 14 times. I know there are people who have done way much more than 14.
Right.
But yeah, I can't donate here in Canada, by the way, because they say
Yeah,
my
you
blood
are
has
coming from
malaria
the
inside.
malaria zone. I had a similar challenge when I was in the US. I wanted to donate. Say, guy, you can't donate. You are coming from the malaria and tuberculosis zone. I'm sure if you're around, you would
Absolutely.
have done possibly more than 14 times. Right, that's very good, Jake. We'll come back to you. Talking about the benefits, you mentioned that you realize there are some benefits of blood donation. So I'll have Dabota to speak more to it. What are those benefits for being a voluntary blood donor? Apart from the psychological effect of feeling that you've saved a life, are there some health benefits to the donor itself,
Yeah,
not just the recipient?
yeah, actually, there are health benefits, but I would like to start with this. One of the benefits of donating blood is that blood is priceless. It's a priceless gift you can give to anybody. I think that tops all the kind of benefits you can think about, because knowing you can give something priceless is what's going for.
Right.
Another reason, one of the benefits is that it stimulates blood cells production. So simply what happens is when they bleed you and they take out some part of your blood out, right? It activates your bone marrow to produce more blood cells. So
Right.
the blood coming out stimulates you as an individual to produce more blood cells. So that's one of the other benefits. The third benefit is that it helps you maintain your heart. So it's healthy for the heart to circulate that blood, for the blood to go out and then comes in. So it helps to reduce your cardiovascular complications like hypertension and the rest of them, or cardiovascular diseases you may be prone to. Another benefit of donating blood is that it reduces your chance of having cancer. Well, I'm not so sure what explanations to give for that, but I got to read about it, that it reduces the chances of having cancer. And then another benefit of donating blood, that it's a free health check. So imagine if you get to donate blood a minimum of 3 months, right? You're going to check your blood level, you're going to check your blood pressure, you're going to check your packed cell volume, that's your blood packed cell volume. They're going to check your weight. They're going to check if you have HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis. That's the mini check, which on the normal regular you won't walk into.
Would they also check for COVID-19?
No, they won't check for COVID-19. And then it's also another way of losing weight. It helps with weight loss. So, yeah, so that's the health benefits of donating blood.
Okay, that's really good. So many benefits, physiological benefits, health benefits for donating blood. And I know some persons will be envious of Jake Okechukwu Fodu, having reaped all those benefits as a regular blood donor. We are
And
going to
there's
be
more actually.
right. Okay.
I think in Nigeria, though, if you donate with the Nigerian blood transfusion, they give you like a blood donor card, which has your details. So I have my own card in my wallet. It has your genotype, your blood group, and anything. I mean, it's just safe to have in case of any emergency. And maybe you have an accident, God forbid, and I get rushed to a hospital. They don't need to waste time by looking at my blood donor card. They know that, okay, this is my blood group, this is my genotype, and that can actually be life-saving even for myself as well.
Right.
And I tell people, even if it's just to get a good opportunity to get all your checks, they're testing for like syphilis, HIV, HPV, hepatitis, and the rest of that. That is actually very beneficial.
A very good way for having free tests.
Absolutely. But I think what Dabota said, the ultimate goal and the ultimate joy is just to see that some other person's life, they say one pint could save 2 to 3 or 4 lives, right? So that is quite life-saving, especially when you look at like young kids who have medical issues that, you know, they just really need that blood to survive.
Exactly.
And I hear that the blood also expires, like they don't keep it till, you know, forever. After a while, they need
Yeah,
to
it does
dispose of the one.
expire, right?
So donors need to ensure that they donate regularly so that there's enough blood in the bank for patients who need them to access them.
All right, thanks for that input. We will take a very short break, and when we return, we're going to continue with this conversation. You stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Talking Health with Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television. Yes, I've been talking to the Executive Director of Sickle Cell Awareness and Health Foundation, Dabota Omubo-Pepple, who is also a nurse at the emergency section of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, and also a regular blood donor and a lawyer, Okechukwu Efodu, joining us from Toronto. So we have both of them on Zoom, and yes, we've been talking about blood donation. Note that in 6 days' time, precisely 14th June, is World Blood Donors Day, and we want everybody, any hospital closest to you, to please go even before that day and after, you know, and become a regular blood donor. I am one, and I'm proud to be one. I donate blood very often, so I encourage everyone to do so. So coming back to you, Omubo, there are a number of issues about blood donation. A lot of persons, I did a survey when we were trying to work out solutions to some key health challenges in the world during the Unleash event on the SDG 3. And one of the things I worked on with my team members is on blood donation. According to the National Blood Transfusion Services, we need about 1.5 million units of blood per year. And what they do get is just about 500,000, which means a gap of 1 million blood, exists. So what are the issues? One of the barriers is people feel that their blood is being sold. So they donate blood for free and it's sold to make money. So they don't really trust the system. So some others, I think it's mainly that trust issue. How can we fix this?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lars. So one is trust, and then one is, let's say, enlightenment. First of all, everybody assumes that one blood is taken from a donor is transferred to the recipient, but that's wrong. Actually, there's a difference between blood donated and safe blood. So blood donated is just the blood taken from a donor, and then safe blood is blood that is safe to be transfused. That simply means that that blood has gone through some certain procedures and investigations, which include screening for HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis, and also looking at cross-matching between the donor's blood and the recipient's blood. So this whole procedures has a fee that starts screening fee. So most times when you hear people say they sell blood, it may actually be just the screening fee they are being asked to pay if they don't give the voluntary donor. Okay. So a lot of people do not understand that irrespective of if they get a voluntary donor or not, there has to be a screening fee charged to blood. That's one aspect of it. And then the second aspect is the trust issues. I personally, at some point when I started my blood drive, I did not have trust in the system because I had a feeling that they were going to sell on the blood we got free from donors during our drives. So I had to personally set up a structure at PTH that ensures that our blood is not being sold. So there are certain stuff like a tag on the blood that states that is not for sale, a kind of documentation that signs the blood out when it's leaves the bank and where it goes to. So that's the only way we can actually fix the trust issues in our healthcare system is to put a system that works, a system that ensures that blood from voluntary donors are not being sold. A system that is accountable for every blood that comes into the bank and leaves the bank.
Yes, I know. So sorry, I have to cut you because our time is very short, and I needed us to cover some other aspects. I know that it will feel good if people who donate blood can actually get a message to them. Oh, your blood has been used to save the life of so and so person. You are a fantastic person. You are a lifesaver. Congratulations. That would really be great if we could do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's
Uh,
what I was.
right. Mr. Fodu, I think this is the last one I'll ask you. So, generally speaking, what do you think as a donor? I know you may be interacting with other donors like yourself and also trying to encourage other persons, and they have concerns. So, what do you think that the system needs to do better? You donate at the blood transfusion service, but there are people who need to be donated at the hospital setting, and the systems are a bit different. So, what should we improve in our system to encourage more voluntary donors?
Yeah, I think we need to incentivize more people to donate. And I think a couple of people try to do this. For example, most times when I go to donate, they give you like a bottle of Sprite, biscuit, or malt or something like that. It's small, but it's encouraging, right? And I like the idea you just shared now about getting a text message saying that, oh, okay, thank you for being a blood donor, just to appreciate people who take out their time to be able to donate. I also think awareness is important. I think a lot of people don't understand the value of donation. And I think that sensitization should be continued. I think one of the fears, another fear people have is that, oh, what if they donate? What if I go and donate and they test and they find something?
Mm.
Like, people are scared of wanting to know what's in them or whatever.
Right.
So, and I think we need to demystify the entire process, whether or not a person donates and it gets used or not used. I think that communication is important to know, hey, we have collected your blood right now. We are at the testing stage. Oh, we've confirmed that the blood is usable or can be given to a recipient.
Right.
And even maybe sharing the results with the donor as well. These are things that could be beneficial. Um, around blood donation. But yes, we need to incentivize, and whether or not there's an incentive, we need to make it a culture. We need to make it something that is a responsibility of every individual. Knowing the
Right.
kind of society that we live in, it could be
Okay.
your sibling, your brother, it could be yourself who might need blood
Yes.
tomorrow, and there should be enough blood to
All
to
right.
help and protect people.
All right. Thank you, Jake Okechukwu Fodu. I take that as your last word, and I would like Dabota to also give 10 seconds of last word because time has caught up with us.
Okay, so my last word is giving blood is a priceless gift. Everybody can donate blood, so therefore, if you choose to be a lifesaver, give blood to them.
All right, fantastic guest I had today. Thank you so much for being on the program. I would just want to add, if it's possible, to have a database of voluntary blood donors, perhaps on the website of the National Blood Transfusion Service. People can just say, yes, I'm a blood donor, they can brag about it. Just as we are keeping database of people who perpetrate gender-based violence and rape and something like that. So let's have database of those who are doing good, saving lives through blood donation. So that's what I'll be adding, to the recommendation. So thank you so much, Ms. Dabota Omubo-Pepple from Port Harcourt, and Jake Okechukwu Fodu, a lawyer and a PhD candidate in Canada. He doesn't want me to mention that, but I've exposed you. Thanks for being on the program today. Okay, so make
Thanks
sure
for having us.
I hope we've converted many Nigerians and people around the world to become regular blood donors. You can donate once every 3 months. So join the team. Let's save more lives. My name is Dr. Laz Eze. See you same station, same time next week. Bye for now.